you often talk about culture, and I think this is sometimes just like a Black woman's thing, right? We go hard, we're career oriented, we're educated, we're successful. So we just keep it pushing when it comes on to issues below the belt.
Culturally for me, so my parents are from Nigeria, and in Nigeria, there is a big misconception. There's so many women who have fibroids in Nigeria. And there's a big misconception that women who have fibroids will be unable to conceive. You know, so for me, my mother is always telling me, don't tell people that you have fibroids, you know, because you want a husband, right?
Exactly.
You know, it's just like, you want a husband, right? Like, if they know that you have fibroids, if they know that from the beginning you can have trouble conceiving, that might turn men away from you.
Yeah.
You know, so even being a part of the White Dress Project, it was kind of challenging for me in the beginning because, you know, sharing our story is a big part of our mission.
Yeah.
So it was such a struggle for me to fulfill that part of the mission because of the cultural stigma, because of the cultural misconceptions that, you know, have been so pervasive throughout my journey. So like all of you were saying, that's why we're having this discussion. You know, we need to break down those walls of silence. We need to shatter the cultural stigma that is so pervasive around this issue and around other menstrual issues.
As Nkem talks about the cultural side, I also talk about the educational side of it too. As I shared with you ladies, my mom is a nurse. But when you put this in time perspective, this year my mom embraced the age of 70. And so you can think about at the time that she was going to nursing school, we can imagine that fibroids probably wasn't too much of a conversation or an educational course there. So I know for myself, I would think that mom probably from an educational medical standpoint didn't know what else to say to me during those years of the heavy period outside of, you know, brace up like Amber was talking about and breaking out the Advil and the heating pads. From an educational, you know, and a medical standpoint, telling me what else to do or running me off to the doctors to get checked to see why I'm having these difficulties. She probably did not know what else to say other than those basic things.
That's such a good point, Tywana. I remember to your point about, you know, just learning how to protect yourself and not really dealing with it. Yeah. I remember that, you know, my mom had fibroids. I often share the story of her losing twins to fibroids, and I'm an only child. I'm the only one. I came in between a set of twins that she lost. And I remember when we found out that I had fibroids, she talked so much about just the protection. I know how to line my underwear like no other.
Yes.
I know about every mattress pad there is. I know how to get stains out.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah.
My solutions, bleach and Clorox and etc. Like bar none.
Right so, there with you.
Right. It's such a good point that you bring up that we really didn't even learn what was happening in our bodies, but just learned how to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
I also remember when I was starting the organization, my mom was like, and you know, in her sweet Jamaican voice, was like, you know, honey, don't tell everybody you had 27 fibroids. Like, mommy, I didn't put them in me. So,
right.
But it's once again to everybody's point, not wanting that shame that's associated, not wanting, you know, their daughters to feel like they're being treated less than, undervalued. My mother was a nurse too. So I feel that same, you know, protection, but not really dealing with the issue.
Yeah.
Brandi, what did your mom say to you?
Oh, so, I mean, I am like, you know, from the Facebook generation. So as soon as I found out, like, oh my God, I have these things called fibroids. I'm like on Facebook, like, hey, does anybody know about this? And my mom like calls me immediately. She's like, take that post down. And I was like, what? She was like, you know, I have fibroids. You can call somebody and ask them about it. You don't want to put that out there. You're not married yet. You don't know what men are going to think. You don't. And I'm like, first of all, the problem is, why are you just not telling me you have fibroids? She was like, yeah, remember when I had that hysterectomy? I'm like, girl, you didn't give the details. So, I mean, I think it's like, it was so, I mean, it was a struggle. It was like, okay, so do I go and take the post down? But then I was like, I mean, if I can share everything else, like, why not be able to share this? But I did realize people would inbox me, but they really wouldn't comment on the post. And so it was like, from then, it kind of made me feel like, okay, well, obviously I'm not alone. So I do need to speak out more about this. And then that's when just, you know, that happened in December. And then that summer was when I was introduced to the White Dress Project. And I felt like it was just like a purpose coming together. Because I was like, I don't want to be the only person, you know, in my city. Because I went to Atlanta to, you know, be introduced. I don't want to be going through this alone in my city. So I want to speak out about it. So whether they have to inbox me or not, I just wanted people to know, like, I'm a person that you can come to. Like, you don't have to be alone dealing with this.